You won't know who I am from what you perceive. But if you listen when we speak, then you will receive a glimpse of who I am. And then you'll believe and have a life of peace, because your soul is at ease. You see, our source is the essence of which this world is conceived, which means that we were here before the bird and the bee. Now if you have not guessed, I am eternity. But now if you have guessed, and you guessed correctly, that simply means we share the same destiny. To realize we are the God and Trinity that is talked about in Christianity. Now some will say that vanity, or go as far as insanity. It's because they believe in Western theology. But as we see, we choose ancient Kemetic philosophy. Not to say that's the only path to immortality. That's the path for we, this life. You see, as we devote our life to helping others be free, so they in turn can reach their full divinity. And this is done because of the he and I, and the I and he. Peace and wholeness.
All right. What's happening? Besides the singing of the bowl, the Tibetan singing bowl, that is, as we officially open the portal to the art of sovereign living, as it is currently known. And we simply take a few moments to breathe intentionally, relaxing while releasing, as we use this moment to go deep into the moment, into the present time, this present now, into the epitome of sovereign living. The more that we are present in the ever eternal present, the more we're sovereign, the more that we're free from the attachments to the future and the past, to the what ifs and what could have been, simply by being present. So simply breathing is key, it's foundational to maintaining our sovereign identity, our sovereign energetic integrity. With that being said, Jay, seems as though sometimes it can be a little, what's the word, long-winded with the bowls. Only saying that because there was someone definitely there chiming in. And, well, now there's a thumbs up. Well, just another example about this sovereign living is just to simply be present. Be present right now where we are, the epitome of sovereign living. So, being as though, unless feel free, who's ever, observing, watching, listening, to chime in with any questions at any time, because that's the whole idea, to hold space. My person is holding space for all individuals, all beings who are looking to open up to more of who they already are as a God, goddess, light worker, divine being, whatever it is. So we are Freedom Fridays, baby, formerly known as the Art of Sovereign Living. And this is the first Friday we haven't even put the name out there officially, but the second Friday in June it will be Freedom Fridays. And why we're making a shift from the Art of Sovereign Living to Freedom Fridays, well, quite simple. Sometimes the larger the vision, or the larger the explanation, or the more grandioso the concept, the more limited. A lot of times, it will limited those who it may resonate with. Simply speaking, the art of sovereign living. Even though most of us have heard of the word sovereign for quite some time, sovereignty. Yet, generally speaking, is not what we consider everyday language. Especially among certain people of color, indigenous people, BIPOC. And the reason being is because innately it's in us. We innately understand it is our birthright to be sovereign. So we don't really, sovereign living, sovereignty. Again, growing up is not one of those things because it's in us. Even though we may not be operating in that capacity, it's still in us. However, the word freedom is a word that is more so used than sovereignty, because it transcends cultures, it transcends ethnicities, races, sexes, most religion, science, all of the above. Being free, free your mind, and the rest will follow. Be free, freedom, baby, freedom. So, spirit, higher self. It's like the art of sovereign living is cute, but who is that for? Is it for the people that are looking to become free, or is it for the people, who are looking to be sovereign? Again, we're being funny in a dramatic way. At the same time, the disclaimer is whenever my person is sharing, presenting, Gemini rising is a zodiac, part of the zodiac. So Gemini rising deals with the twins. Some of us are blessed and cursed with the ability to see both sides of any and all situations. We all have the ability and potential, but some of us it's just effortless. So Gemini rising, begin to see both sides, and if you tie that in with my person considers itself free, implying is not bound by certain words that have been used in the English language, using language that have been used over and over again. We become accustomed to. My person will shift some words up, make some analogies, because we understand the principle. We say it's how you use a thing. So we just want to put that disclaimer out there because the idea is not to offend anyone or to trigger anyone, but simply to have fun with this, with communication, with language. With some, if you say the bastard language or the dead language, the English language, well, as an alchemist, the soul healer and the high priest, our thing is, if it's dead, let's resurrect it then, baby. Give it some life. And not just give it life, but give it life more abundantly. So, at anywho, looks like there's a comment here. Oh, Sheena D. Horn, love your altar. Right on. Yeah, so, I remember to keep these chats active, just in case somebody chat something up. All right, just checking the Instagram as well as we transmit live from there. So yeah, so again, the transition from the art of sovereign and Freedom Fridays, it resonates in a more simpler, in a more simpler way, simpler dimension. So, Freedom Fridays. Questions. We always keep who's ever watching, whether it's live or recorded, whatever questions you may have or comments, because some of you have been exploring with this freedom living, and or sovereign living. And so we're just saying the floor is open. And as we wait for your questions and or comments, just going to share a little bit about my person's personal testimony, beginning with why my person says my person. And that's simply because I am a soul, baby. I'm a soul being of human, and a masculine energy. I'm a soul, brother. I'm a soul, pun intended. But yes, I am a soul. And that was a pun because I am neither masculine nor feminine. I am both masculine and feminine, So I'm a soul. And as a soul, I as a soul chosen this particular avatar, this vehicle to connect with, to experience creation, all of it. And that's it. So my person is the vehicle, the avatar, the earth rover, that is doing this thing on earth. While the soul, the soul observes, never sleeps, never slumber, just always. So that's what I do. And so my person, story of freedom, is one of mystique, right? Familiarity, as probably most of us. Precious mother love. Oh, okay.
Hi there, One Love and Wellness. Happy Friday. Happy Freedom
Happy
Friday.
Freedom Friday, yay, baby.
Can I be heard? Am I heard?
Yeah, back again. You heard now.
Freedom
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. So just before you came on, just sharing with the people why the switch from the art of sovereign living to Freedom Fridays, and just sharing the Cliff Notes version, just a way to connect more, because sovereignty, even though some of us have heard of sovereign, not all of us are familiar with the details of what it's like, whereas most of us are very familiar with the word freedom. And so, it's found it easier to reach and connect based upon those who are desiring more freedom in their life, more freedom in your life, in whatever dimension that may be, a little bit more freedom. And so we're here to discuss, open up, share, on our journeys of becoming more free in all dimensions of our lives. And once that is complete, then hence there's total freedom, i.e., sovereignty. So it's more of a backdoor way approach to a front door um, way of being, which is sovereign free. Ta-da. Oh, the mute is on. The mute. The mute.
Okay. So you're saying like not in a way that you're approaching in a systematic way of sort of a, not to say corporate, but to say corporate in a way that you're talking about a group of people. You're talking more so about individual to individual. Is
What,
that what you're
freedom?
saying?
Freedom or sovereign freedom?
Sovereignty.
Well, okay, now ask that question once again.
Okay, my question was in reference to it wasn't a question, it was a restatement, it's at least a thought of
Okay.
how you were relating to, you said is on a more individual basis versus, there are people that know of it, but may not, some kind of way I got that you were saying that folks may not know the intricacies of it, but that it's a frame of mind or a way of thinking or relating to each person or relating to people or folks or
Right. Yeah. From my personal experience, being was introduced to the so-called sovereign movement or Moorish movement, back in like 2009. And when talking to people about, just the concept, it was like, and the concept of not all of us came over here on slave ships, and because of that, and we helped establish the government, the Constitution, helped get them up and running as a baby country. Um, we Not all of us were slaves. Some of us were sovereign or free. They would associate the word free with that. However, and at the same time, doing these studies, we saw more Europeans, Caucasians use the word more the word sovereign, whereas we use the word Moors, our Moorish right, our Moorish birthright, and the Europeans more so use the word sovereign rights. So we were speaking the same thing, the same language. We was doing some classes together, sharing information about affidavits. So there is a relationship between the European sovereign movement and the indigenous Moorish movement. And so what happens, some of the Moorish, or people of color, understood the concept of sovereignty in that capacity, as far as the birth certificate, the Social Security number, this U.S. Treasury, and all these things. And so it became a movement that, again, personal experience, family members, friends, they saw and they somewhat understood, but still it was just too far out there. Whereas doing some of the same things, if the words had been like, we're becoming more free, we're freeing ourselves, because people are more so familiar with freeing themselves. And even now, like now, we're talking about Freedom Fridays as opposed to the Art of Sovereign Living. It may be some people who want to be free, like free, yeah, let's get free. I want to be, whether it be free from relationship, financial freedom. That's probably one of the biggest ones, financial freedom. But some of the more subtle ones, like emotional freedom, free not to be moved and be in a funk state, and especially in the summertime or Friday, or all this stuff is going on, but something happened and you're in a funk. You don't want to eat, or you eat too much to make yourself feel better because you're being enslaved to your emotions. And so when speaking about the art of sovereign living, a lot of times people who maybe have challenges with emotional freedom / sovereignty, it may not hit them. But you start talking about, Freedom Fridays, and then the write-up, you talking about being free emotionally, mentally, romantic, whatever the case may be, as spirit allows the write-up to take place. My person feels as though we're able to connect and reach out to a lot more individuals who relates to the same thing, just by simply changing the words up from sovereign to freedom. More people can relate to. I want to be free as sovereignty. Who you think you is? You're going against the government. Oh, they're gonna get you. Because that's a vibration that people who have been talking about sovereign rights, they put a certain vibration on that sovereignty. So when you talk about people, emotional freedom, freedom, to just freedom to express yourself as a human being. Not to feel as though you can't say something, or your freedom to creatively express yourself, whether through words, through poetry, through music, through the arts, that you're free to express yourself. And you're not a slave to society who says you can only express yourself between 12 p.m. and 12:02 p.m. You got 2 minutes, the second Wednesday of every month, of the leap year. Other than that, no expression. So that was a concept. We have fun explaining this shit sometimes. We start talking. So many different analogies be coming. We just want to say all of them. But we said a lot of them, not all. Mute again.
Okay. Yeah, I was making a bunch of noise back here because I have to search the car for some things right quick, and I want to be certain I do that before I move. So yeah, I hear that you're saying something about not, perhaps I'm hearing through what you're saying, but about, I thought I was hearing you saying to have, to not associate with you're not associating with the movement of the rah-rah part of it, meaning that you're that people who march for these things or go after um I don't know, I want to say kind of like reparations or whatever, but even still, with engagement as far as contracts or doing things within the system of authoritative figures, meaning some sort of contract that you have. So some people, when they become what they consider as sovereign, like I know that means that you're no longer necessarily a what do you call that, not a citizen and not a nationalist, but or you don't claim the nation, or I guess at that point you're maybe claiming a tribe or something. But so what I was thinking was that you were interested in now pursuing, like you've been through all the rah-rah stage phase. So now you've come to a place where you say, okay, well, if I were to consider myself sovereign, certain things, like you said, would not move you in the same way that it moves other people. Like when it's time to go vote, you're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. Are you talking?
Yeah, we were just saying right. We were saying right. We were saying right. So you didn't hit it right.
Right.
It was amen. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, because
amen.
like right now is a big time for that mindset, for folks to be considering what is in the headlines as far as for what to do when they go in the booth. But I'm in the mindset that what's going on in the booth isn't as it doesn't move as many, in the area of the things that I see important, which I look at a community level, I look at a global level, but the levels that I'm looking, the categories that I'm looking at is how people treat each other. It's like that's not in the booth, and it can be, but to me it has more impact when it comes from the grassroots levels, meaning in the communities where we have these different programs and different activities and different groups, whether it's a government run kind of facility like a rec center or some other religious organizations. I'm just saying, as far as effectiveness, I see the hand-to-hand combat more of a effective field in which to see that change. So that's starting on an individual basis. That's person to person. That's individual to individual. That's not. And you're on mute and no picture, just in case that you did not.
Yeah, we was in this kitchen putting some tea together.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, think we enjoy this Friday night, It's Friday,
Right.
baby. Do a little tea, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're free. Friday. Okay, Freedom Friday. And I've never said Friday before. This is the most I've ever said that version of the day it is. And I wanted to know, what is the planet for the day?
Venus.
And that's what I thought, that it was Venus. Okay, so Venus Day. How about if I say that?
You say what you want. You're sovereign. You're free. That's the whole point.
That's what I say. I'll say that, Venus Day. And that's what I thought of this, the top of the day today. Of course, I was going to say this, this AM, but in French, it's the AM is après matin. Matin is midnight in that case. And so PM is post matin, but so it's like the noon and the midnight Uh, I don't know why it's saying the same thing because I also know minuit is midnight, and I believe noon has another word. You know, my little bit of French over the years. I don't recall specifically. I know that Spanish is the same sort of way when they say buenas noches.
Uh-huh.
You can't say that until after, I think it's after 5 o'clock. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I was about to say 12 o'clock. I was about to say you have to say it after 12 o'clock, but there's something else that you say after, for their morning and their night and their afternoon. It's a similar sort of relation, French and Spanish. There are a lot of words that relate. But anyway, I'm getting confused, so let me not go too far into my trying to dip into my memory bank.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. So I'm just thinking. I try to think more and more about the words that I'm saying. I'm saying so many words that when put that S on the front of it, it's a sword. I got to make sure I'm cold with it.
And why is that?
Yeah,
And why is
I
that? Why
want
be cold with it?
I want to make sure that I am precisely positioning the energies to coincide with the desires. And you actually are you prompt me often.
Okay.
You catch it when I slip into sleep mode.
Yeah.
When I
It's the
talk on
Gemini.
sleep mode sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It's the Gemini rising. We're wired to just be attentive to communication, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So about last night,
Yes. Yes.
we had some one.
We had some wonderful sun. Well, I guess she'll be back sooner or later. A little bit delayed. We saw the question there, Sister Sheena. However, there you go. We have responses there. So yes, Precious Mother Love did give a little more insight on the freedom piece. So you know, there you have it. And along with that, also was earlier today was up at the Blue Nile Crystal Shop. Blue Nile upstairs, Blue Nile. For those who may not be familiar, here in Washington D.C. Actually, not in the area, but in D.C., Washington D.C. In Northwest Washington D.C. On Georgia Avenue, right up from Howard University. You can walk there from Howard. As a matter of fact, that's how my person found out about Blue Nile. Was while attending Howard University in the late 90s, 97, 98, and 2000. And so Blue Nile now is an herb shop. Been there for years, staple, in the hood, holding it down. And upstairs now is a crystal shop. Been there for a number of years. And recently, the sister who runs it, which is the owner of the herb shop's wife. And so that's a beautiful story in and of itself. He's been holding the herb shop down, and after some time, he just opened the store upstairs. So his wife has a business. His and her businesses. His is herbs, hers is crystals. We want to sit there for a minute, and so we talk about this. We don't say it out loud often. However, when we do say it out loud, like at times as these, it has a certain hit to it. It resonates. You know, that's quite powerful. You know, on George Avenue, right up from Howard University. His and hers businesses. One upstairs, one downstairs. At any rate, was outside, sitting outside, wrapping crystals from time to time. Mama Ayo, have her brother, you know, wrap some crystals. And over a number of years, we would just go get the crystals, come back to Southeast, crosstown, public transportation, you know, wrap the crystals, whatever long it takes. You know, she's never in a rush, which is great. Wrap the crystals, go back across town and drop them off. However, now today's our second time. Last Friday was the first. We just go upstairs, just go there and wrap outside. You know, it makes sense. And so all that to say, while rapping, you know, playing the playlist with Londrell or some other cats that are just otherworldly, you know, like what's her name, Nico, and you know, just you know, for those who may not be familiar with any of those names or what my person is referring to, if you're familiar with, say, Kendrick Lamar, let's say just imagine Kendrick Lamar on even a different level than what he's on now, where he's rapping about just straight, that's, you know, we gods, we star seeds, we, you know, we came to earth for a purpose and we're going back. Don't get too caught up here, because if you get too caught up here, it'll keep you coming back. Reincarnation, having challenges because you got caught up in the hologram, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. You got caught up in the glitter, you know, and having the fun and this, that, or the other, you know, and or got hemmed up with emotional baggage. You know, took a hit, you know, came to earth for a purpose, you know, to help with the evolution of human consciousness. However, maybe got caught up into the system as far as materialism, you know, not really have a direct path or around an environment that fosters back to self. So, you know, that's the kind of did we lose ourselves? What are you talking about? That happened too. Maybe some water. Could use a drink of water and a breath, and let's hit this bowl of reset. You know, we waiting for Mother Love to come back and just started talking to fill the space in. And as long as she didn't come back, we just kept talking and trying to get along with what we was talking about. Anyway, we just sort of reset ourselves. And there we go. As we reset once again, a bowl, a little breathing. We're back in a more peaceful state, the state that supports freedom. So, all right. Gemini rising. Oh, we was talking about personal love and thinking her insight on why Freedom Fridays as opposed to the Art of Sovereign Living. And hopefully, you know, people are have enough insight to, you know, to see the validity, you know, power and sincerity, and just looking to connect with individuals. So, and with that being said, you know, we look forward to creating a space here. As we let the sister know that she says she loves the altar. As we just finally shot back, it was just a tip of Mother Earth, baby. We enjoy it too. It was already here, so we help maintain it as the high priest here at Temple Mother Earth. So if anyone is open to having more in-person discussions from time to time on your own journey to freedom, you know, we are here and currently on the second and fourth Fridays. Ideally, you know, if there's enough commitment to those who are open and about that work, you know, the inner child work, shadow work, of releasing those things that are assisting one with being a slave, in a sense, you know, or non-free, which is certain aspects of self, you know, from a foundational, spiritual, God's perspective. The only thing, if if there is a thing, if there is something or some things, if there is something that is keeping any of us from a life of truly freedom, that something is the one thing, which is this thing, us. So again, that's what Freedom Fridays is all about. Um, yeah, and 807. Um, any other? We're being reminded to just share a little bit about our story on this Moorish journey. Moorish journey. We spoke about it earlier with Question of Love on the call, and our journey of around 2009, being introduced to Moorish, not Moorish Science Temple of America, not Moorish Science. Well, maybe consider Moorish Science, but not Moorish Science Temple of America. It's again based on the awareness of that some of us, people of color, most of us, in fact, were over here in this landmass called North America before Columbus came, before Amerigos Vespucci, Amerigos Vespucci, and before, even discovered indigenous people, people of color, what they call black people, melanated people, have been the first people on the planet, have been everywhere on the planet first. So we are the indigenous people of the planet. And again, on this journey, early on, the information of that by default is it's a sovereign. That's our birthright to be sovereign, because we are the indigenous people of the planet. We come from the planet. We come from Mother Earth. Ashes, ashes, dust, it does. The scripture says God scooped the dirt, made the man from the dirt. We are the periodic table and the electromagnetic spectrum. So again, we are that, we are it. And so by being it, this whole thing of freedom, we're looking at moving beyond the so-called material mindset. Even in the Bible, there's a scripture, there's something that says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And the straw man, the birth certificate, the social security number, all these things can be considered Caesar's, because they're still part of the Roman Empire. And if you're looking to capture the straw man, you're looking to capture something that you didn't create. So you're not rendering it to Caesar, you're looking to capture what Caesar has created. Just putting another perspective on how with that sovereign movement, it may not be the most holistic, and it may cause some more challenges down the road because of the nature of how it's being done. Whereas again, we're talking about the sovereign living, or freedom living. Again, just being free to express yourself and or not to express yourself if you choose, and not just being able to, but the how to express yourself. So yeah, look for the write-up. And again, you're all welcome here. If it resonates, to Mother Earth, we can be in person, get the vibe going on the sovereign living piece. Until then, we're going to close out this sound bowl as we do a few breaths and hold this prayer. This portal is open. This portal that we do with the sound bath again is a prayer, an invocation, evocation, meditation, and libation, all in one. Because it is simply the intention that you hold that allows it to manifest. And what it is, the intention that you're holding. It's just that simple. So give thanks to all things and all beings for allowing your beingness to be, so that we may experience that. And there she is. She's back at 11, never napping. And that's we held on, and she popped on back up. All right.
Time to go.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My my phone said no internet, and so I had to ride out of the whole area that I was in to get to the mall where I knew there'd be some Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I
That's
was
what
making
freedom
I was making too much sense.
be that way sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not a
Mm,
conspiracy theorist, but sometimes when you get into certain areas and talk about certain subjects, they don't want your information to have continuous flow. They want to interrupt and stop your words. And I say they is the monitors for these programs for keywords in this
yeah,
case.
yeah.
So we
So
do want to watch our words so that we don't become defunct. We can, and
right,
that's that Parliament word, funk.
right. So my person was just reminded and encouraged and inspired to be more intentional and habitual with using terms such as the colonizer's mind and the indigenous mind. And with that, the reason being, in the world of duality, my person is saying either you have the mind of the colonizer, which is to take over some shit that's mine now. And now that we here, you go do like us. You know, we go set the education system, we go create all the shit for you, and you go like it. You go enjoy it. It'll be good for you. Now we want this return is for you to, work for us. Be good. Be good. Don't go sticking your nose around our business. Cause we're gonna make sure you got every you gonna make sure you have some comforts of life. Right. And we're gonna go over here, So that's the colonizer mind. Then the indigenous mind says, peace, God, namaste. The God in me sees the God in you. We're here. How can we, live in harmony with nature, with earth, and everything and everybody? That's the indigenous mind. So for my person, and it's going to hold space that this be, because it's speaking from the I admit philosophy. So I'm saying that's why I admit look at it. So this also promotes I admit. You say I admit look at it this way. What's I admit? It's a philosophy and lifestyle of freedom. Truly being sovereign and walking in your divinity. And with that, one of the things we do is simplify. It's not about color, it's about the mind. Do you have an indigenous mind or do you have a colonizer mind? Which is translated to a God mind or a devil mind. But that's too strong for people because people think the devil is evil and the God is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Or God is the greatest thing since God. However, they both are valid. They both are equally powerful and equally equal. They equal. So that's why we say the colonizer mind and the indigenous mind, we're saying God and devil without saying God and devil. Just like sovereignty and freedom. We feel as though we can, we stretch it a little bit, but it's we can, that's why we're doing it.
So sovereignty has now become a a process in on in other words, leave out the process and just be. Maybe I can't hear you.
Right. Yes. One saying anything, just waiting for it to finish. We've had some classes in patience over the last day or two, so we practicing right now. Yep. So yeah. Yeah. That's what my person. They came through sovereignty. That's what the paperwork, affidavits. Make sure you have your affidavits. Get them authenticated by the same people. You saying I'm sovereign. You say I'm sovereign, so I need you to authenticate these documents and say I'm sovereign. At the time, because of the emotions, we thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread again. Whatever that, that's a good catchphrase. Because it was like, yeah,
But you
man, I'm
didn't know
sovereign. You
what.
see that? Yeah.
See, to me, that's like okay when you first learn how to write your alphabets. You're happy that you can write that A and that B and that C.
Right.
But then when you become, in junior high and high school, as you learn how to put more and more letters together and more words together.
Right.
So it's like that to me was back in the elementary level stages of there is even an option of being. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to be a nationalist. You don't have to go to another country. You know what I'm saying? You can actually free your mind from the confines of the mental jails, the mental squares, the mental boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
which has a lot to do with, again, I said putting the letters together. Those letters all have a value, an energy, a frequency, a vibe. And that's what that became. That became a paper war, a war of the words as
Paper
well.
terrorists. Yeah.
Paper terrorists. Yeah. And so that's kind of like another, like, why would you even want to, like, that's just a mindset that puts you in combat mode versus working things out in what would be a win-win mannerism, or like you had said, more balanced energies. But just to me, like you said, it's a mindset. I say it's a vibe.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Because wealthy is a vibe, and
Mhm.
what do you call that? Entitlement is a vibe,
Right.
royalty is a vibe,
Every-
sovereignty is a vibe too, you
Everything
know,
is happening.
all those things, but those are ways of emoting.
Hmm.
So to me, all those things are, again, there's, there's so many different ways to skin these different cats. You don't have to be in combat mode. You don't have to be in uh, whatever is in opposition of you. You just have to be who God sent you here to be, and live in your God-ism, your God essence,
Right.
which is love to me, which is love. To me, it's love. God
Right.
is love. God is the energy, the light energy of love. That God spark, that burst of love.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Yes. My person got clarity for his own insight. It says the love for others as the same as the love for self. When you love others, when you love everybody and everything like you love yourself, that's God's love. But when you only love yourself at its highest level and only love others when it's convenient, when it benefits you, then that's the devil's love. But it's still love. It's still love. It's just a love that's not encompassing of unity and all. It's only love that's for self. And I don't care if you ain't got it. I don't care if you die. Or if you got it and I want it because I love myself, I'm gonna take your shit and get your shit and kill you because I love myself enough to kill you for your shit. But I love myself enough. So that's for my person. That's how we just says, because we just sitting there when you say it's like, damn. So the devil is not love, but the devil gotta be love. It gotta be. So what type of love is the devil? So then that's when it came. There's the holistic love, me and you, then there's a selfish love. It's just me. So I just wanted to share that.
Okay, so it being just me, to me, there is a category, a place where there's no love. So all love and then no love. To me, those are the spectrums. How much, like, the more you can love outside of yourself, the closer you get to, you know, let's just say loving yourself is a given. But at some point, loving yourself isn't a given, and you don't love, and you love yourself so little, or if someone does not love themselves at all, that's a no love zone. That's, I got, that person would have no love for no one, not even themselves.
Or or
Is
or they have very little love for themselves. Because there was no love for themselves, it seemed like they would not exist. Because love is energy that unites, that unites and brings together. And to have any type of love, to be alive is to have love. because you're bringing all your cells, all your atoms, all your chakras, everything together that says, let's do this. Let's work together for this thing. So that's love in and of itself. My person sees it. If you didn't have that, no love at all, you wouldn't be together because you don't have anything to bring any. You don't have any energy to bring anything together. So it's just, so you just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will concur and agree that if you did not have the desire or the will to live, then, but I don't know, is that separate from no love for yourself though? Because
And again,
you can love outside of yourself and not love yourself, but be doing something that's loving for others
yeah. So you
and
still
doing
right. So you saying you still love? It just love. So anything other than not love, anything, any love that's other than loving you with all your heart, all your might, and all your soul, and loving your neighbor as loving yourself, anything other than that is lower vibrational love or devilish.
okay. Okay.
Well, yeah. Again, that's personal. That's personal. That's personal. That's my personal see it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody look at love differently. Shit, we will project
So
that.
that's it. I can appreciate the way you describe that. I can appreciate that. But I
Yeah.
definitely know that, just like you say, there's the four boxes, you know, if so love and love and not love,
Right.
not love and not love, and not love and love.
Right. That's
So the
my
only one, so the love and the love, that's, so anything outside of I love myself as much as I love others.
right.
Anything other than that is going towards the non-love, which is
No.
not God. God is
Yep.
love. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And when we said that, the scripture came up. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your might, and all your soul. And you got. So you love you. And then love thy neighbor as thyself, like you love God. That's it. That's it.
Okay. I get that now. Okay, I see. So if you're loving yourself like you would love God, and knowing that you are a God,
Yes.
so loving yourself and loving God is basically the same thing.
Yes. And then if you love somebody else with that same love, then you're showing God's love.
So would you say that's agape love?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep. That's it. Agape love, God's love. That's it. Unconditional love. Love that knows no boundaries.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
All right. Well, happy Venus evening.
A happy Venus evening. Happy Venus evening. A happy Venus evening. And that's the way we believe. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, something's going on here.
Pardonnez-moi. Yeah, what was that? Somebody had a.
That was the answer to it. Yeah, it was the. Sometimes this mouse on the computer does some funny stuff. Like if some water, a water or something, a drop of something spill on it, it started doing stuff on its own. So a little drop of something fell on it, went to wipe it off, and it kept doing some stuff. It can be quite simple.
So, could be picking up on vibes.
Yeah.
on Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking to
So,
Ghost earlier, he sent him the link. So he saying, it's when his Friday's available, he'll be joining too. So
okay.
yeah.
I don't have anything else to say. Schedule for later. Customize each destination. Save changes. Got it. Description. I forgot all about this other stuff.
What other
One
stuff?
Love and Wellness, Love plus Art equals Wellness. Heart Happy Hour, Season 5. We're on Freedom Friday or Venus Day on the set with High Priest, Master of Shep, who is currently at the Temple of Mother Earth. And we've been having a conversation about the differences that we've been through some things in the lane of what might be considered sovereignty, and also through the years have begun to recognize that a lot of the stress and the pressure that one gives to the word sovereignty can be removed when you remove the words that have had to be applied towards being sovereign. Meaning, there's a lot of things that people have had to do and put on paper and do paperwork and be words, spelling all over the place. But again, it's just a mindset. It's just a way of living.
Signing right.
Huh? Say that again.
Was gonna add, like, was saying you have to sign things a certain way in a certain color, just adding to the paperwork, signatures, UCC 3-01, you have to do all these little stuff to documents and things like that,
Right. And so now we're thinking of it like how back in the day when people used to do handshakes, it's basically, it's a hand-to-hand thing. It's like individually, the more we act like the gods that we know we are, as far as the God spark in us, the more we are loved, the more we respond to each other in what would be two gods, communicating to so if you know that this person is in the mindset of being one with the all, or wanting to see better for all, and you deal with this person, and you can have handshakes. You don't have to do this right thing. And the thing about the writing part, to me, it's as though in your head when you're doing these things, whatever it was that you was putting down in blood, you sign, seal, and deliver that in your mind that, hey, this is serving the purpose of what I needed to serve, and whatever the serve, this is a temporary condition that I'll put, some credence to for the value that I need, that I allow it to be, and not have it to be everything is so life threatening and so, severe that you pressurize your box. You can come out your box, you can stand on your box, you can actually be outside the box with the ways that you do things, the ways that you don't have to follow the crowd in the way that the crowds are used to relating and making agreements with each other. You can be in a more win-win mindset towards each other in your relations, in your interactions, in your, like, let somebody cut over in front of you and then say to them, hey, I guess you're in a rush, or you're in more of a rush than I am. Let me give you some space to do what you need to do to get where you need to go.
Right.
And, not to fret over. And this was a nice conversation that I think that we had when we spoke about, and I brought up the subject of voting. You know, voting is a very mind consuming activity for our country. You know, it has a lot of real estate. There's a lot of valuable um, agreements that people make on behalf of representing a certain sector of our population, you know, as far as the persons that occupy this country. But
Yeah.
yeah, so sounds like this it's getting busy where you are. So maybe we can start signing off and um, go ahead and finalize our words for the evening. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Well, once again, give thanks for checking out, tuning in. Freedom Fridays, baby. Freedom Fridays. Freedom Fridays. Well, every Friday is free, and every other rotation around the sun or daily rotation is free. And I said Freedom Fridays, Freedom Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday as well. So all of these freedom days. So give thanks for the freedom, freedom, freedom. And wherever your journey takes you in this physical 3D simulation holographic reality, may you do so on the freedom of your own accord, your own free will. And when you get to wherever you are that you chose to be on your own free will, may you enjoy all of the ways that you express yourselves. And it's just that simple, just that easy. Once again, give thanks that we end this journey together. And until we come together once again, you know, right on, I'm in Ache. All right. And we just gonna sign off and talk to you guys on another broadcast coming up soon. All right. Love everyone to life. Love you to life. Love you to life. Love you to life. Be well. The best of thoughts to you and enjoy all of your creations. Ache. Oh, we have some technical difficulties getting out of this thing. Right on, I'm in Ache. Leave it at that. They don't want to end. They want to end. Mouse issues. And man, this thing is crazy. We gotta get this mouse out the end of the jump.